in BM Ria Girls College. I welcome today's speaker, Mrs. Urvashi Saxena, Chief Income Tax Commissioner. I welcome President of Marwadi Sammelan, Advocate Sri Sushil Kumar Vyas ji, Secretary of Marwadi Sammelan, Sri Suresh Devra ji, Trustee of Marwadi Sammelan and Convener of Degree College, Sri Srikant Dalmia ji, Convener of Sita Ram Devra Institute of Management Studies, Sri Vijay Singhal ji, and our pillar of strength, our beloved principal, Dr. Santosh Kolkak Madam, Vice Principal of Junior College, Srimati Chama Tamedkar Madam, Associate Professor and Cultural in charge of Counseling Cell Mantrana, Srimati Sruti Ranade Madam, and our IQC Coordinator, Head of the Department, Commerce Department, Dr. Norozia Kaji Madam. I welcome all the teaching and non-teaching staff and all dear students. It's our college tradition to start any function with college prayer. I request Associate Professor Srimati Sruti Ranade Madam to sing the college prayer.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तू ही राम है तू रहीम है तू करीम कृष्ण खुदा हुआ तू ही वाहे गुरु तू ईशा मसीह हर नाम में तू समा रहा। सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः।
Our institutes were affiliated with the SNDT University. So it's our tradition to play university song. Kindly rise to pay tribute. This year at SNDT celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav on occasion of the 75th glorious year of our independence. Additionally, on the occasion of national level Women's Week program organized by Women Development Cell, Internal Complaint Committee in association with IQAC and Department of Economics, I am Dr. Binu Singh, pleased to introduce today's speaker, Mrs. Urvashi Saxena, first Chief Commissioner Income Tax and first Deputy Director of Income Tax Investigation. It's our honor to have you, ma'am. Madam belongs to 1968 batch of Indian Revenue Services. We are honored to have you with us, madam. She grew up in the historic city of Allahabad and was celebrated as a successful and righteous bureaucrat throughout her tenure. According to the Economic Times, she is smart, savvy, and tough as nails. Madam doesn't boomer parties or doesn't in Indian bureaucracy. I welcome you, madam. Now, madam, you can start.
Thank you, Binu. Thank you so much. Hello, friends. Uh, I'm so happy to be with you all this morning. And your this beautiful Vandana, Saraswati Vandana, and the beautiful school song, college song, has already inspired me and I'm sure all others. And it contains the essence of all that I would like to speak to you today. Because I'm sure I have read about your college, and I'm extremely happy to be addressing the illustrious students of this illustrious college. At the outset, I want to thank Dr. Binu Singh, who is not only a dear friend but also a fellow alumni from the Allahabad University, of which we are very proud to be belonging. And I must thank her for affording me this opportunity to be with you this morning and to share some of my thoughts with you. As a bureaucrat, as she has already mentioned, bureaucracy, and not so much as bureaucracy, but bureaucrats, I don't think bureaucrats doesn't conjure up a very happy connotation these days. But let me assure you, friends, that uh, bureaucrats are also a part of society, and we are performing our assigned jobs. And so I would be happy to just share some of my thoughts, and maybe as a result of that, if I inspire any of you or many of you to aspire to join the civil services, I think it will be a great service done by me. And I mean, I'll be happy if I can inspire any of you to join this service. As and as first, I must say that this college, I'm very, very happy to know that you have such illustrious alumni of your college. And after going through the details in the website I went through, that it is an educational institute which is also rendering human service in various varied fields. And it is producing some very dedicated and committed students. It is indeed gratifying to note that the curriculum offered in this college is not only very relevant, but also prepares the young ladies to succeed in their careers. The dedicated and qualified team of professors and teachers of your college, led by your illustrious and dynamic principal, prepare you not only to step out in the whole world, out in the wide world, but also to face the various challenges with confidence, fortitude, and commitment. For that, I must congratulate and appreciate the college and their authorities to provide this a great environment for academic excellence to your students. Friends, as you are aware, We are facing traumatic and cataclysmic changes all around us right now in view of the ongoing war in Europe and between Ukraine and Russia. And we have just come out of a very challenging uh, democratic exercise in our country. And in the background of all this, we cannot remain just silent spectators. The events of the recent past have left us benumbed and shocked beyond words. We are living in troubled times, and no one can be insulated against the events taking place all around us. We, as women, especially, have to face these challenges head on. The emerging scenario has shaken our beliefs and norms like anything, and our thinking and our work ethics has to be redesigned or to face these forthcoming challenges. There is a paradigm shift in our roles and the way we look at ourselves. Not only have we to harmonize and dovetail our own concerns and goals, but we have also to bring about a change in the mindset and our worldview. First and foremost, we have to own up the changes, that we are the change agents. You have to accept that you can make a difference. We all say, it's very easy for us to say कि अरे हमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है, वो तो वहाँ हो रहा है, how does it affect me? But no, friends, I know it is not easy, but the beginning has to be made somewhere. And I would like you to ignite your minds and your thought process so that you can contribute your might in the challenging and daunting task of nation building and becoming those agents of change. And for that, friends, I can share with you that there is no better platform than to join the government service, whether it is the central government or the state government or the local self government bodies. But you have the opportunity and the platform to not only maybe you don't have a role in the policy making, but you definitely have a role in implementing those schemes, in implementing those aspirations of our political leaders, our parliamentarians who frame those schemes and those laws for the benefit of the common man, of the proper, it should reach the common person. So for that, I think the government provides you a fantastic platform and fantastic opportunity to deliver those goods by way of good governance. And since the topic for today is the role of or the importance of women in bureaucracy, I would like to, of course, I'm not a great speaker or anything, but and I've retired about 17 years ago. But even then, I would, since I spent almost 40 years in the government service, I can share some thoughts with you all, which may be of interest and which may inspire you or motivate you to join the bureaucracy. So I know it is. We have, we at least if I think I may have become jaded or outdated in my thinking, and I may not be able to appreciate or what should I say, bring myself up to date with the new challenges because my thinking is 50 years old or what when I started in service. But now with you young friends over here, young ladies, with you we expect a fresh outlook, your new concerns, your new duties, your expectations and aspirations must be matched with the resources and performance. So you people, you are the ones who can be the new agents of change, who can bring about the बदलाव जो आजकल कहा जा रहा है कि बदलाव चाहिए सबको. इस the election results have also proved that people are waiting for a change. They want good governance, they want results, result oriented. They need some kind of stability, integrity while delivering things. And so all along, it has been, as the results have proved beyond doubt, that good governance ultimately counts. And this is what our political leaders, our national leaders are promising, and we have to deliver. And you, as young students who are on the threshold of entering your work life, I would exhort you, I would request you, and I would love to share my thoughts that if you aspire, you must join government service and be the new agents of change. You see, I mean, I can just, because yours is a management school also, and I, after retirement, had occasion to join the private sector in the capacity of being an independent director on many illustrious companies, big companies. I was on their board, so I have seen both sides of the coin, the government as well as the private sector. So I may be in a position to compare the two. And what I hear from the new buzzwords are the accountability, vision, problem sharing, problem solving, the team approach, strategy, work life balance. So, all these are the new things which I'm sure you all are being taught in your classes. And then you have to, you have the knowledge, you have the capacity, you have the intelligence, you have the ability. It only has to be channelized in the proper direction. You have the technical expertise, you are being given the training, you are being trained to be the future citizens of this country in whatever capacity. But as I said, I'm repeating again, government will provide you a proper platform. And right now, even the government salaries have become quite attractive as compared to the private sector. So what the earlier uh, hitch was, that people thought that you would an MBA graduate will get a head start when he or she joins the private sector, but no longer that is true, because even the government has provided. And not only that, the biggest advantage of government service vis-a-vis the private sector is that we get equal pay for equal work. There's no discrimination, there's no gender discrimination as far as the work and the pay is concerned. That is one of the biggest factors, because in the private sector, even in the best of companies, I have seen that women have to struggle. They have to prove that they are equal, or they're worthy of getting an equal pay for equal work, which is not so in government. We get the same pay scale. We are recruited through the same agency on equal terms. There is no reservation for women per se in government service. So it is you have your equal what should I say, skills, and your equal knowledge. You have been recruited by the Union Public Service Commission or the State Public Service Commission or the Staff Selection Commission. There are so many agencies which recruit at various levels, and there is no discrimination as far as the women and men are concerned in government. So that is a one very major factor which I feel is in favor. And then secondly, the security which is given by the government, it is phenomenal. I mean, you are very secure in your work. If you are performing, you will be rewarded with better responsibilities and better jobs. I mean, though I feel that any person can perform well in whatever job is assigned to them, if you don't have any other agenda or any vested interests. So, friends, now coming to the women in government service, I feel that there are so many schemes in the recent past have been framed for the betterment of women as such. And we now, when I joined service, we used to get only 6 weeks of maternity leave, and there was a strange and funny rule. I don't know why, that it was 3 weeks before confinement and 3 weeks after confinement. Now, who can predict the date of confinement? So many times I ended up losing 3 weeks of 2 weeks of my maternity leave because my children were born before the due date. But that, howsoever ridiculous that rule was, now we have 6 months of full paid maternity leave for government servants. Plus, they have another 2 years of child care leave, which you can take anytime in up to the child is 18 years old. So that now we have provided creches at the workplace. We provide other facilities, which and as I said, it is an equal world. It's an equal platform. It's a level playing field for everyone. You, whoever is able to work or deliver, regardless of their gender, they are given their due credit, their due place, and their due promotions. So nothing to fear about that. You will be entitled to the same privileges and the same facilities which government offers to the men folk as well as the women folk. Then another important factor about when you join government service is that you have, as I said, you come through a um, very difficult competitive exam. You have the knowledge, you have the capability, and then you are honed. Your skills are honed. You provided training at the various institutes. Initially, we all join as a at the National Academy of Administration, the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy of Administration in Mussoorie, where all the central services and the IAS and IPS and foreign service probationers are trained for 4 months about the basics of public administration, finance, and how, and basically all about jurisprudence and good governance. Then we go to our various institutes like income tax. We have the National Academy of Direct Taxes at Nagpur. For the audits and accounts services, there is the institute in Simla. For railways in Baroda, for the police in Hyderabad, and so on and so forth, and various customs and now the GST probationers go to Delhi. They have an institute, I believe, in Gurgaon now. And so, then your skills are honed and you're provided the necessary skills to deliver. Like, for instance, income tax people, then we are given a rigorous training about the Income Tax Act, income tax law, and how to implement it. So now we come to the next part is the implementation part, because as I said, you may be having all the theoretical knowledge, but then we have to deliver. We are asked to implement the Finance Act, the finance law, which is passed, the budget. So income tax department, we are given a definite action plan right at the beginning of the year, and we are expected to reach. There are timelines, like for instance, the quarterly results have to be reported. Monthly results also have to be reported. We have to match up to our expectations. So that is where implementation comes in. And then we have to avoid the tendency of either all or nothing. I mean, even a small contribution, even a small way, you may not be able to surmount all the difficulties. You may have certain roadblocks. You may face certain hindrances, but you don't give up just because you can't overcome the initial hurdles or the hassles. One has to overcome them. And let me assure you that in government service, we have a lot of protection against political interference, as well as, the judiciary also favors bureaucracy as far as if anything has been done in good faith. The end result may not be very palatable, or it may, for various reasons, it may have misfired. But as long as your intentions were good and you made genuine efforts to implement those schemes, you will always be, they will always protect you. Then we have to, at the same time, then while you are implementing these various laws, you will face criticism, you will face various amount of hostile atmosphere. For instance, nobody likes an income tax notice when it reaches you, and I'm sure everyone curses the income tax department for many things. I mean, I'm on a lighter note, that income tax is definitely considered a major hurdle. Everyone feels that because it's a direct tax, it pinches you directly on your pocket. So people don't realize indirect taxes that you pay, but the direct tax. But this is where, again, as I said, the women can make a lot of difference. For instance, as mentioned in my introduction, Dr. Bean mentioned, I was the first lady deputy director of investigation in charge of raids in Bombay. And at that time, I was known at times either because I'm talking of early 80s, 83, 84, 85. I mean, I used to be known as the Karod Wali Bai because every raid I got more than a crore of disclosure, which in those days was a big amount. And but at the same time, on the other side of the ground, I was also known as Phulan Devi of the department. So you can imagine how and where the broad spectrum is. So, but as I said, we have to implement certain schemes which may not be very palatable, but you have to explain to the people. And I can tell you, despite the fact that I raided so many people, even after so many years, uh, I have not. I mean, I did not face any resistance. I must say, and I still have some good relations with most of those people whom I had rated. They still invite me for their children or their grandchildren's weddings. So I'm just trying to say that you can, while implementing and doing an unpalatable or a so-called unpopular thing, as a woman, you can make a difference if you have the empathy, if you have the integrity, if you know that what you're doing, and if you can explain to them, if you can communicate to them. Again, this also a communication skill, both horizontal and vertical, because whatever you're doing, you should be able to communicate to the public as well as to your bosses upward that what I have done and why I have done so. So, I mean, that, and once you have the courage of conviction that you know that whatever you're doing is right and as per the rule of law, as per the rule book, as per the framework, then you, even if you go, if you falter, you may not fail, but even if you falter, there will be people to pick you up. There will be nothing, they will not leave you in the lurch, they will not throw you in the pond. The people will be there to support you. Then you have to accept criticism and variance at every level. And coming to grips with the new changes, you have to take the macro view and the micro view while you are implementing on a thing. But when you realize that you are dealing with a person on a one-to-one basis, it is your duty to explain to them that you are not their enemy, but you have certain duties to perform, and for that, pardon, okay. And so then what I mean is actually that you should have a proactive approach then rather than reactive approach. We have to explain to the people why we are doing certain things. Then now we know, as again coming back to the hostile global economic and social atmosphere existing right now, the world is reeling under the war, under recession, under so many sanctions, faltering economies. So we are waiting and hoping for a turnaround for the better for the world. And so there is, friends, again, as I said, no room for complacency. Complacency. We have to declog the system. We have to show your drive, your initiative, your commitment. As I said, leadership in turbulent times is when your real mettle is proven, because
माइक म्यूट है मैडम।
मैम माइक आपका म्यूट हो गया है शायद।
Sorry, yeah, I don't know how. I'm so sorry. So I was saying that, in the present scenario of the global economic and social atmosphere is really, we have to wait patiently for declogging the system. And as I was saying, a good leader is one who provides leadership during troubled times, because anyone can be a good manager or a good leader or a good administrator during normal times. But it is such hard times which they test your mettle. And so the challenges are equal. I mean, a challenge can be taken as an opportunity also. And it can be, as I said, you can look at it, whether people say, I mean, the cliche that if somebody throws a lemon at you, either you can feel that you have been incited, or you can squeeze that lemon and make lemonade out of that. So it is up to you how you look at it and how you grab an opportunity to make your presence felt. And friends, as again, as I said, in every, of course, that is holds good in every field, but more so in government, because we have to work as a team, and we have to take along the people who are working with us. We have to seek their cooperation. We have to motivate them. We have to challenge them to live up to our things. So for that, we have to provide the same kind of leadership at every level. And not only that, as again, as I said, being a woman in a government male centric world, rather, it does help, because when you can empathize with your workforce. I mean, I'm reminded of the fact that when I was principal chief commissioner of Mumbai, I had a workforce of almost 10,000 people working in my charge. And each 10,000 people would have a different 10,000 problems of their own, personal problems. So, friends, I used to try and address as much as I could, whatever was within my powers or within my domain. I would be able to help them out. But even if I could not, even if I gave them a sympathetic hearing, if I heard them out, I'm sure I was able to solve. At least they knew they are being heard and somebody is listening to them, somebody will take care of their problems. I'll just give you a small example. We have staff quarters in Jogeshwari, which were more than 50, 60 years old, and they were almost crumbling. And I noticed that most of my staff was falling ill, and they were not coming to office, and they were getting malaria, dengue, and all these things. So I decided to make a trip to the quarters, and I took along the CPWD chief engineer and the BMC in charge of that ward. We realized that, and this was during the monsoons, I realized that all the roofs were leaking, and the sewer lines and the water pipes had sort of joined together. Therefore, they were all falling sick. So immediately we took steps to, sort out those problems. And I mean, I can just feel good about it that the ladies of that, the entire, there were more than 400 quarters over there. They all came to me to thank me for taking this trouble, because nobody had even sort of thought about it, that they need. So, because when the men were coming and falling ill, then we said, let us go to the root of the problem. So this is what I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying that any male would not have done it, but as a woman, I think probably you relate more. You can go to the thing, you can see what is the problem where, and maybe that is one problem solving. So as I said, then as a leader, you have to take the team along with you. So, friends, again, to say that we are working in a democracy, and a democratic setup is one where you will face many challenges. People who would not like to obey the rules, they wouldn't break the laws. So then there'll be many examples of gross indiscipline, and even with the government, with all its resources, we cannot fulfill all the roles. The police and we all have our limitations. That is where we need the cooperation of the citizens at large. So now coming to that, I think, friends, I have spoken enough about what challenges are there. And again, I would like to just say that we have to provide an enabling environment for good governance, and to change the existing social systems. And for that, gender specific skilling is required. Like, for instance, in the Anganwadi, beginning from the grassroots level, at the Anganwadi stage, at the health worker, the primary health centers, There are so many opportunities, as I said, in the government to make a difference. You can help, you can contribute your little might at whatever place. So then you have the exposure to all the possible opportunities, and you can find role models, and you can inspire your families. You can inspire other families that their daughters can make a valuable contribution to the family's prosperity and the prosperity of the country as an end product. So this is again where one can you can provide the necessary inspiration, role models. You can provide the role models. Parents and teachers, of course, have to play a very important role, and towards enabling of giving this enabling environment or atmosphere, providing at home and in colleges. Then I talk about this something called the edge, gaining the extra edge. So it is, I can only say that E stands for enhancement of your knowledge. Then you have to be, as I said, to cement the cross-functional team skills. If you are having leading various teams, then you have to cement, you have to harmonize all these teams, that they work at the same for the same purpose and not at cross purposes. Then enhancing self-reliance and self-empowerment. This is very important to my mind, whether it is in the government sector or in the private sector. Unless you yourself are self-motivated or self-empowered, you cannot deliver. Then we have, of course, as I said, exposure to aggressive training interventions. We have various initial training at the initial stage, then also mid-level and various refresher courses to hone your skills and to keep you update with the changes. And then sharpening the competitive edge. Aggressive training goes to that. Then better recognition and acknowledgement for target-centric performance. As I said, we set targets, and if you are able to achieve your target, there are incentive schemes to give you appreciation. And earlier, and in many spheres, you even have cash incentives. You get cash rewards or citations and various other forms of rewards where good work is recognized and rewarded. Normally, people say ki in government service, you don't have, I mean, even if you are performing well, you don't have any edge over anything. That is not so. I mean, it is, yes, I mean, in government service, there's a say ki, I mean, to use a colloquial word, ki gadhe और घोड़े और खच्चर सब बराबर होते हैं, ऐसा नहीं है. I mean, you may be a laggard, you may be left behind, but by and large, we all have the equal opportunities to develop yourself, to have your self growth, and to self empower yourself. So this is what I was thinking, that most of it is this what you should aspire for, because as a woman, as a lady, you have a greater role. You are more empathetic. You know how you're running the family. You have seen the family. You can bring about the so-called work-life balance, and you must have a can-do attitude, that I can do it. I will do it. I must do it. Don't sit down and say that हमारे हाथ में क्या है, मैं नहीं कुछ कर सकती. So please get over that defeatist attitude. You have to build, and you all are, as I said, young, enthusiastic people. You have the initiative, you have the drive, you have the enthusiasm, you have the aspirations. For you, the world is really a rosy world. So please don't let any cynicism come in your way. You have to aspire, and you have to keep on skilling and upskilling yourself. And now technology can come to your help. Unfortunately, we did not have that advantage. You have the digitalization, the digital skills, artificial intelligence, automation, and so many things now are coming up which you can take advantage of, which our generation did not have. So creating a skilling ecosystem for young women to enable them to join the bureaucracy will be a very, very healthy outlet, I would say. And friends, I wish you all the very best in your endeavors, and I hope you make the right choices. And and you have to channelize your knowledge and coordinate your core competencies to achieve your goals. Aim high. I always say hitch your wagon to the stars. Unless you aim high or think big, you will be only happy with so as I said, your aim should be to reach much higher, the topmost position in. Another thing I would say, yes, people have this thing that probably women are not given their due in government. Like, for instance, they say that very few chief secretaries are women, or very few women have become cabinet secretary or DG police, or heading any of these big organizations. But times are changing, I'm sure, friends, as you know, that now even the National Defense Academy has started admitting cadets, which is a very, very big step, I think. And both the Army, Navy, Air Force ladies have proven their worth. ISRO is once upon a time was dominated by the women. It still is. So there are so many avenues. As I said, you can make a difference. You can plan your career. You can think about it. Bureaucracy is definitely one of the government services. It is very rewarding, very self-satisfying. At the end of the day, as I said, that you can look back that you did make a difference, or you were able to channelize your knowledge and contribute to the nation building in whatever little way you could. So as I said again, friends, I'm sure that you will achieve great heights. You will not fail. Though you may falter at times, I'm confident that with your vision, with your commitment, with your energy, with your elan, you will make the world a better place. I have full confidence in that. I have immense faith in you, friends. You will definitely create a society, a social order that will be free of all prejudices and bias, will be just and equitable, a future that we all aspire for, and we will achieve it with your cooperation and our blessings. Thank you for your kind attention and patient hearing. I wish you all the very best. I'll just end with one small couplet. I'm reminded of there is one very एक हिंदी के poetess हैं. She's from the income tax department also, Namita Srivastava. She has written, अगर यकीन नहीं है तो आजमाओ मुझे, अगर यकीन नहीं है तो आजमाओ मुझे, आईना हो तुम तो आईना दिखाओ मुझे, आईना हो तुम तो आईना दिखाओ मुझे, एक चिंगारी हूँ मैं, रात दिन जलती हूँ, हवाओं में दम है तो बुझाओ मुझे. So friends, with these words, I feel that and another couplet की माना की ज़मीं को गुलजार न कर सके हम, लेकिन कुछ हार कम कर दिए गुजरे जिधर से हम. So if you can, as I said, make a little difference also, it will be worth your while. So with these words, I again wish you all the very best, and thank you once again for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts and be with you this morning. I hope we'll see many more of you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivi. स्टूडेंट्स को अगर कुछ भी आप लोगों को पूछना है मैडम से,
yes.
मैडम पहली इनकम टैक्स चीफ कमिश्नर रहे हैं और हम लोगों के लिए बड़े प्राउड की चीज है. तो आप लोग अगर कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं तो आप लोग प्लीज पूछिए.
Most welcome. I'll be only too happy to answer your queries.
Yes, ma'am. Jai Hind, ma'am.
Jai Hind. You're Anshu?
Yes.
Anshu?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
मैम मेरा एक पर्सनली सवाल है आपसे कि मैं जब भी आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस करती हूँ ना, तो मेरा जो वर्ड लिमिट है ना वो एक्स्ट्रा हो जाता है. कि मैं कुछ सीए से क्वेश्चन उठाती हूँ.
I'm sorry. मैंने समझा नहीं. आप जरा रिपीट करोगे अपना क्वेश्चन बेटा?
यस. प्लीज कोई है जो अपना माइक म्यूट करेगा क्या?
हेलो.
यस मैम, मैं फिर से अपना क्वेश्चन रिपीट कर रही हूँ.
जी
मैम, मेरा सवाल ये है कि जब भी मैं आंसर राइटिंग प्रैक्टिस करती हूँ ना, तो जो वर्ड लिमिट होता है ना 150 या 250 ना, तो मेरा मेरा वो वर्ड लिमिट क्रॉस हो जाता है, क्योंकि मैं जो थॉट्स होता है मैं कुछ सीए से उठाती हूँ, कुछ जियोग्राफी से, कुछ हिस्ट्री से, ऐसे लाके मेरे पास मटेरियल जो होते हैं वो ज्यादा हो जाते हैं, और उसमें क्या मेरा टाइमिंग भी वेस्ट जाता है, प्लस मेरा मतलब निगेटिव भी हो जाता है क्योंकि मैं ज्यादा लिख रही हूँ। तो मैं इस चीज को कंट्रोल नहीं कर पा रही। मैं ट्राई कर रही हूँ लास्ट 2 मंथ से, बट नहीं हो पा रहा है मुझसे। तो मैं इसको मतलब कैसे करूँ, प्लीज गाइड।
Anshu, beta, I can only tell you that this requires only practice and nothing else. Practice makes perfect, as they say. Because you'll have to, आपने प्रेसी राइटिंग करी है, स्कूल में की होगी, आपको कोई भी चीज को उसको प्रिसाइज वे में यू हैव टू मेक इट शॉर्टर, कंसाइज कर लीजिए, so that you don't lose the substance. The main thing should be there, but you cut out the clutter. जो उसके आसपास की चीजें हैं, जो भी आपको लिखना है, it should be to the point, focus, as again आजकल लोग कह रहे हैं, because अगर जो टाइम लिमिट है, unfortunately we did not have this in our times. We were allowed to write as much as we could. We didn't have this time limit or the word limit, but I feel that this is the only way. You'll have to practice it and you'll have to, as they say, remove the clutter. जो भी इधर उधर का है, मुद्दे की बात कीजिए, मुद्दे पे आओ, वही करो, जो भी what is you have to convey your thoughts in that shortest possible time and the shortest possible format. For that, you will have to practice, and only that will make you perfect. अब precise करिए, प्रेसी करिए, वही उसको shorten करिए कि कैसे, without losing the emphasis or the main thought behind it. Whatever you want to convey in very precise terms, you will have to do that. I think so. This is my advice to you.
Okay, मैम, लास्ट क्वेश्चन। यस मैम, लास्ट क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है। लास्ट क्वेश्चन मेरा ये है मैम, का जो क्वेश्चन मैं प्रैक्टिस कर रही हूँ।
किसका? जस्ट से इट अगेन, किसका क्वेश्चन?
वन सेकंड मैम, अभी आ रही है आवाज मेरी आपको?
हाँ हाँ, आवाज आ रही है, बोलो।
हाँ मैम, जब प्रीलिम्स का प्रैक्टिस मैंने टेस्ट सीरीज लगाया,
अच्छा, प्रीलिम्स का
मेरा ये क्या हो रहा है कि जब मैं, हाँ प्रीलिम्स का, तो मेरा ये हो रहा है मैम कि मैं जब पेपर सॉल्व करने जा रही हूँ ना, तो मैं पेपर पर राइट क्वेश्चन कर रही हूँ। जब वो मैं शीट पर मैं फिलअप करने जा रही हूँ, तो मुझे उस समय कंफ्यूजन हो जा रहा है कि मैं मतलब बी करूँ या सी करूँ। मैं फिर से क्वेश्चन रीड कर रही हूँ और उसी में मेरा कंफ्यूजन ए, और मतलब ए भी मेरा नहीं हो पा रहा है, और डर की वजह से मैं ओमायर शीट पर गलत कर रही हूँ, जो कि मैं पेपर पर सही क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर रही हूँ। तो मैं इसके लिए क्या करूँ, मतलब
आई थिंक द आंसर इज तुम्हारे क्वेश्चन में ही उसका आंसर भी है। तुम कहते हो मैं डर के मारे नहीं समझ पा रही हूँ, तो वो डर निकाल दो अपने मन से बेटा। डरने से कुछ नहीं होता, डर के आगे जीत है, जैसे द फेमस एड है। आप डरो नहीं, just attempt it with full confidence. That's what I said. You have to empower yourself. You have to motivate yourself. Daro nahi. It is not rocket science, as they say. It is not difficult. आप वही, again, as I said, you have to practice on your own. और जो तुमने बताया कि डरने की कोई जरूरत ही नहीं, there is nothing very difficult. You will be able to crack it. You just keep at it. And ठंडे दिमाग से, ठंडे उससे सोचो, think about it. Maybe take a different approach. But डर, जहाँ अगर आपने डर लिया तो फिर then there is no way you can. You have to first be totally डर को निकाल दो अपने दिमाग से, जहन से, और उसको take a fresh approach. Maybe if whatever you have been thinking, you think out of the box. लोग कहते हैं ना कि सोचो कि क्या हो, मेरे एनालिसिस करो, उसकी SWOT एनालिसिस करो कि what is this your strength, what is your weakness, and how you can overcome it. You must have been taught the SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunities, and this thing. So मतलब डर निकालने से focus करो. I'm sure you'll be able to do it. You have to believe in yourself. Self-belief is very important. Unless you get that, you will not be able to crack it. Okay? Believe in yourself. Feel that you have the confidence that you will be able to do it. So ye socho and you will be able to do it. Okay? All the best to you. Best of luck. Any other questions?
Ma'am, may I?
Yes,
Vidika Shah.
please. Yes, Vidika.
मैम एक्चुअली अभी मैं जब भी पढ़ने बैठती हूँ तो मेरा कंसंट्रेशन कहीं और चला जाता है, जैसे कि बाहर खेलने में या फिर टीवीज में, सब चीजों में। तो उसके लिए हम लोग को क्या करना चाहिए, मतलब?
ये भी, हाँ, इट्स अ वेरी कॉमन थिंग। मेरा भी ऐसे ही होता था, ऐसा कुछ नहीं। हम भी, मैं तो रेडियो, उस जमाने में तो टीवी नहीं था फॉर्चुनेटली, तो रेडियो ही सुनते रहते थे या थे, तो मुझे भी डांट पड़ती थी किताबें पढ़ने से, मुझे भी कंसंट्रेशन नहीं हो पाता था। लेकिन धीरे धीरे आई ट्रेन माई सेल्फ दैट यू हैव टू, वंस यू मेक अप योर माइंड एंड यू हैव अ single, I mean, goal in front of you कि I have to do this, I have to finish this. आप छोटे छोटे goals करो. You first try and limit your time. How much time you will spend on आजकल तो because of the social media and telephones there are so many distractions, so you'll have to forget all that and limit your time. अपना धीरे धीरे, और टाइम टेबल एक पूरा ऐसा बना लो कि concentration तभी हो पाएगा कि when your mind is free of all these distractions and uncluttered mind है, तुम्हारे दिमाग में एक ही गोल रहे, एक ही फोकस रहे कि मुझे ये करना है और इतने ही टाइम लिमिट में करना है, इतना टाइम फ्रेम है. So you have to sort of just organize your life in such a way that for the next couple of months just forget about everything. तुमको ये समझ लो कि you forget in your life whatever you are doing, you have to concentrate on that and just let other things take care of themselves. You can think about it after 6 months, after your exams, after your prelims, whatever. अभी prelims कब है आपके due? I think हेलो
5 जून को, 5 जून को मैम prelims है.
हाँ, तो फिर you have very little time, you have 2 months just.
Ma'am, I am in 11th standard.
Oh, you are in 11th standard. Okay. So then so you have a long way to go, but this is how you have to train your mind. You have to control your self. As I said, you have to focus on the
मैम
things. हाँ बेटा,
ये मैम ने मन में, मतलब कि क्वेश्चन का आंसर हमने मन में अच्छे से बना लेते, लेकिन मैं उसको ट्रेन नहीं कर पाती अच्छे से. वो
आ जाएगा बेटा. ये keep at it, you keep doing it. I'm sure you will do it. You will. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, ऐसा कोई काम नहीं है दुनिया में जो आप कह सकते हो, कहोगे कि मैं नहीं कर सकती हूँ. Don't start with that premise. Don't think कि I will not be able to do it. You will be able to do it, and start with that and then you will do it. बस जहाँ भी distraction होने लगे उसको भूल जाओ, फिर come back to your thing. You see, this is why, इसीलिए मेडिटेशन में भी कहा जाता है, हम लोग अब मेडिटेशन प्रैक्टिसेस करते हैं कि उसमें कहते भी हैं कि आप आंख बंद करके जैसे फोकस करो. अगर थॉट्स आ भी रहे हैं तो उसको आने दो, थोड़ी देर में वो थॉट्स चले जाएंगे आपके, because your mind is they say a mind is a monkey, as they call it. Various thoughts will come, but you have to be, as an individual, you have to distinguish कि क्या हमको लेना है, क्या रखना है, क्या छोड़ देना है, क्या निकालना है. There will be a lot of distractions, no doubt, but you have to be a single-minded approach. As I said, you have to be steadfast. And don't lose interest, and don't lose your competitive edge, and don't lose your faith in yourself. You have your faith in yourself कि I will do it. That can do attitude, जो मैंने कहा कि तुम्हें ये सोच के चलना कि मैं ये कर सकती हूँ. तो नारी जो है वो अबला नहीं है, वो अगर है तो वो कुछ भी कर सकती है. तो मैंने कहा ना कि तुम you have to burn both the sides of the candle. You have to be totally in control. समझ में है? So, and you are in 11th, so you still have a lot of time, but this is the time to train yourself. Or I'm sure with a little bit of meditation and little bit of yoga, you can be able to control yourself. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. हार मत मानो, हार के नहीं बैठने से.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, miss.
Right. Just aspire. Let your confidence grow. You will grow. Definitely. All the best to you.
Thank you, miss.
Thank you,
ma'am.
You're welcome.
और कोई क्वेश्चन है किसी स्टूडेंट को? Then I would like to invite my colleague, Mrs. Sumita Guha, madam, to give formal word of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm delighted. I was delighted to be with you all. Thank you. Yes.
A very warm greetings to one and all. On the behalf of Marwari Sammelan's BM Ruya Girls College and Sitaram Devra Institute of Management Studies, myself Sumita Guha take the privilege to propose the formal vote of thanks for today's program. Our institution has organized a national level Women's Week program from 7th March 2022 under Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, an initiative of Government of India to celebrate and commemorate 75 years of independence and the glorious history of its people, culture, and achievements. The National Level Women's Week program is being organized on the occasion of International Women's Day to commemorate the cultural, political, and the socio-economic achievements of women by the Women Development Cell Internal Complaints Committee in association with the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC of our college. Today is the concluding day of the week-long celebration of Women's Day, which is organized by Women Development Cell Internal Complaints Committee, Department of Economics, in association with Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC. Today's guest speaker, Mrs. Urvashi Saxena, ex-Chief Commissioner of Income Tax and the first women Deputy Director of Income Tax. Madam has talked on significance of women's participation in Indian bureaucracy. Thank you so much, Madam, for your valuable and enriching session. We are grateful to you, Madam, for your wonderful deliberation regarding no gender discrimination, maternity benefits, protection, and securities in government services, along with your encouragement for young ladies to join Indian bureaucracy. Madam, you nicely portrayed the very positive image of Indian bureaucracy in spite of some initial hurdles, where women can be safe and grow. I express my sincere gratitude to Advocate Sushil Vyas, President of Marwari Sammelan, Sri Suresh Devra, Honorable Secretary Marwari Sammelan, Sri Srikant Dalmia, Convener BM Ruya Girls College and Trustee of Marwari Sammelan, and Sri Vijay Singhal, Convener Sitaram Devra Institute of Management Studies, for their continuous support and encouragement. I express my sincere thanks to our source of inspiration and motivation, our principal, Dr. Santosh Kolkar. I thank Mrs. Shama Tamhankar, Vice Principal, Junior College. Thank you, Srimati Shruti Ranade Madam, Associate Professor in Psychology, Counselor of our Counseling Unit Mantrana, and Head of Cultural Activities for her active role in all the activities conducted by our college, and special thanks to her for her melodious college prayer. Thank you, Dr. Nuruzia Kazi, IQAC Coordinator and Head of the Department of Commerce, for her continuous technical support for each and every event. I hereby thank each and every teaching and non-teaching staff for their direct or indirect contributions for today's program. Last but not the least, I thank all the student participants for their active participation. Once again, thanks to all of you. May I now request all to kindly rise for the national anthem. Thank you.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
फीडबैक फॉर्म आपके चैट बॉक्स में है. प्लीज ऑल द गर्ल्स आर रिक्वेस्टेड टू प्लीज fill feedback form so you will get the certificate on. और आप सभी लोग प्लीज अपना कैमरा ऑन कर लीजिए जिससे हम एक स्क्रीनशॉट ले सके. सभी लोग जो लोग भी यहाँ पर हैं सभी लोग अपने कैमरे प्लीज ऑन कीजिए. प्लीज टेक थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू. थैंक यू सो मच. सभी लोग प्लीज अपने फीडबैक फॉर्म भरिए तभी आपको सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा. अगर किसी को नहीं मिला है तो देन अगेन मैं फिर से सेंड कर रही हूँ. नरोजिया मैडम ने भी सेंड किया हुआ है ऑलरेडी. प्लीज आप लोग सभी लोग फॉर्म भरिए